Well, here we are again at Camp Crazy. Rocky and I just had some chicken, so now Rocky's in his usual chicken coma type state there. You can see him there. He's all curled up on his pillow by the window, unconscious, in a chicken coma. Anyway, it's funny. I listen to sometimes to music on YouTube that I remember from when I was young, because I was young at one time. Long time ago now, but still I was. And I just listened to a song from 1982. It's a song by Stevie Wonder, and I remember it. I was 14 years old when this song was out. It was a big song on the radio for a while. It was one of those songs that you heard a lot for several months in 1982. You heard it a lot and then never heard it again. Like it just seemed to disappear from the airwaves. It's almost like it burnt out or something. It got so much airplay that it just kind of fizzled out and then it wasn't heard anymore. And it's a song called That Girl by Stevie Wonder. Like I say, it's from 1982 when I was 14 years old. And there's a line in that song. And when I heard this line just now, like I say, I remember the song, but it's a long time ago. So as far as remembering all the lyrics and whatnot, no, I can't say I remembered all the lyrics. I just remembered the song generally. But and I remembered hearing it quite a bit back then. But anyway, there's one line in the song that kind of resonated with me, and I'm going to tell you what it is. The line goes, "She doesn't use her love to make him weak. She uses love to keep him strong." Um, and I think that's the key right there. Because what I've noticed is in male-female relations, there is a lot of adversary. It's very adversarial. It's like I guess they call it the war of the sexes for a reason, and it really is like a war. It's like we got too many people um, trying to subdue and oppress the other person and to keep the other person down, and so that keep the other person weak, and so that they will have the upper hand in the relationship. Like it's an adversarial thing, you know. And that type of a relationship should not be an adversarial thing. It should be a refuge. The world is an adversarial place. If you're in that kind of a relationship, it should be a refuge, not. It shouldn't be. It should be a refuge from the world, not an extension of it. If you're a man or a woman and you come home to your spouse at the end of a long, hard day of having to deal with a world that wants to keep you down, having to deal with people who basically want to make you their bitch, people who want to take advantage of you, people who want to exploit you, people who want to dominate you, people who want to steal from you, people who want to steal your dignity, people who want to steal your time, people who want to steal your material possessions and your money. Um, you shouldn't have to go home at the end of that to a partner who wants to do those things. You know? I mean, that type of a relationship should be a refuge from the world. And I think that the relationships that last, and there are damn few that do, but the ones that do, I think that's the key. I really do. If you don't have that, you don't have anything. Might as well call the divorce lawyer right now and get the process started, because you don't got nothing if you don't have that. Because all you've got then is an extension of the world, which is driving you crazy. With benefits. Every so often you get a little sex. But other than that, the world tries to screw you only one way, so I guess you get screwed two ways if you're in that kind of a relationship. You get screwed the way you like, and you get screwed the way you don't like. But it's not a refuge from the world. It's really not, and that's really what's important. Is your relationship should be a refuge from the world. If it isn't, then it's not going to last. You know, if your relationship is an extension of the world, well, then it's going to end like most worldly things do. It's going to crash and burn. Because that's what happens to practically everything in the world sooner or later. It either crashes and burns or it just slowly dies. You know? I mean, look, I've had old cars that started out strong and everything, and then they just got weaker and weaker and rougher, and they died. You know? And I've had other old cars that basically just blew up, where the friggin' engine just came out of them or whatever. They were going along and they seemed to be going along great, and then bang, no more engine or whatever. I've had that happen too. And that's kind of what happens in relationships, it seems. They either die by atrophy or they die by trauma. And but the key in all of that is those are all relationships that were not a refuge from the world, but were an extension of it. The relationships where it's actually a refuge from the world, those people are together. They're 85 years old, and they're still together. So, I mean, that's the key, I think. I was never fortunate enough to find that. I always seem to end up in adversarial situations, and I always ended up, because women, they tend to see me as weak. And so then they figure, well, this is a guy I can make my bitch, basically. And that's not, but I'm really not weak. I guess I'm kind of deceptive that way. Maybe I appear to be weak, but I'm not. And so what happens is they pull that on me, and then I get ugly. And I'm not very nice when I'm ugly. So and then they say, oh, you're abusive. And perhaps I am. I probably am at that point, really, because I get that I'm not a very nice guy. But the bottom line is that can't work. To be in a situation where a woman is trying to make me her bitch, basically, and I'm trying to rein her in ways that she at least interprets as abuse, whether they are or not. Maybe they are. I don't know. But the bottom line is, I'll acknowledge they might be, but the bottom line is this. It can't work. That's all. It just can't work. So that's why I live in a camper out here with a cat. Because I can't deal with women. And especially I find that the majority of them are like that, it seems. They're just out looking for a man they can dominate. But they won't respect a man they can dominate either. So even that isn't going to work. Even if you agree to be that guy, that's not going to work either, because she's not going to respect you. So it's a very fine line to walk, because you don't want to be an abuser, but you also don't want to be a doormat. See, in my case, I could never find that line. Really, I never could. I guess that's a weakness of character on my part, but I was never able to find that, So, anyway, the bottom line is a relationship that works. That's how it has to be. You have to use your love to make each other strong, not to keep each other weak or to keep each other down. And unfortunately, there's an awful lot of this keeping each other down business going on now, and a lot of relationships that really are just an extension of the world as opposed to being a refuge from it. Got something. I think it must be cat fur on my face or something. It's wild. But anyway, the bottom line is, yeah, that line in the song kind of resonated with me. I heard that and a light bulb went off over my head. Scared the hell out of Rocky. What the heck's that? He said he tried batting at it there to, Get away from there, whatever you are. No, anyway. But you know what I mean, though, anyway. A light bulb went off. I had one of those light bulb moments where I thought, that's the key right there. That's what's missing. That's what's missing from a lot of people's lives. Including it's been missing from my own, but it's also been missing from a lot of people who are in relationships. That's missing. And those relationships will fail unless they find that, you know. So yeah, basically we live in a world that beats us down every day. Um, if you come home to a situation that's just an extension of that, whether you're a man or a woman, it's not going to work. I mean, the song was called Back Girl, and it said she uses her love to, but she uses love. What did it say? She uses love. So she doesn't use love to make him weak. She uses love to make him strong. I may have the line flubbed it a little bit there, but that's basically it. Well, that goes both ways, you know. If you don't have that, whether you're a man or a woman, and you're coming home to a situation that's really just an extension of the world, coming home to somebody who sees you and treats you the way the world does, it's not going to last, you know. But if you can find if you can find that thing of just using your love to keep each other strong instead of making each other weak, and if you can have a relationship that's a refuge as opposed to an extension of the world, but a refuge from it, you got a good chance of making it work. And the few relationships I've seen that have worked, that's how they ended up. Now, some of them had to evolve into that, and some of them there had to be a lot of trauma for it to get to the point where that's what it ended up being. But for those who survived the trauma and actually worked through it, and created a refuge of a relationship as opposed to an adversarial relationship, which many of them had, the few that I know of that have lasted, like I say, in order for it to last, it can't be an adversarial relationship. We already have that with the world. Look, if I want to fight with somebody, there's no shortage of people I can fight with. If I want to verbally argue or I want to get into a physical altercation or whatever, I can do that fairly easily. I can go out into the world and I can get into all kinds of controversy and all kinds of fights, and I can get out on the street there with another guy and the two of us can hammer the hell out of each other. I can argue with people. I can do all that. I can have people try to dominate me and I can fight them, and it can be a whole big thing. I can go to jail. All kinds of things can happen to me. But the bottom line is, when I come home from a day of dealing with the world, I don't want to deal with that at home too. So, and I don't want to be a source of that for anyone else either. Especially somebody I supposedly love. If I actually do love a woman, why would I want to do that to her? And why would I want her doing that to me? It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, that's it. Just a thought that entered this head of mine, this balding head here of mine. So I thought I'd share it. Yeah, we'll talk to you all later.